So you guys can see me. I think I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see me. Give me 1 second. Hi, Glenda. I see you there. So give me 1 second. I'm just working through this. I'm gonna shut the phone right now. Well, not shut the phone, but lower the volume because I don't think we want to hear the beeping. So hi guys, how are you? I've already started fussy cutting this because I'm gonna show you something today. Let's see what it says. Hi, your name is Jeffrey? Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Heather. I think it's Heather today. So we're just gonna wait for Heather to make sure that she tells us who it is, if it's Heather or Leah, but I think it's Heather today. So how are you guys? You guys, I'm so glad you guys are here just in case. Yes, it's snowy here. I just read somebody said it's snowy Richmond Hill, Ontario. Yeah, we have a lot of snow. And I'll tell you the story in a little bit because we had no power either. So last night, not today. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Welcome everybody. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Nathalie. I'm part of the video design team for Pink Fresh Studio. And I come every other week to show you a project using some of the new collections. And I'm just, I love working with paper and I want to show you some ideas. So before we we flip the camera and we get into all this fun. Oh, hi, Heather. Just make sure that if you share or comment throughout the live, at the end of the live, Heather will be picking a winner for a gift certificate to the Pink Fresh Studio shop for $15. And there's a new release, so I'm sure you guys will have your eyes on some of the new stuff. So you can use that to purchase, some of the products. And today, we're also going to be working with one of the newest collections from Pink Fresh Studio, and everything that I'm using is available in the shop. There's links to everything that I'm using at the bottom, not at the bottom, in the description area of this live. So make sure there's links, so you just click them and it's going to take you directly to the shop. So what we're going to work on today is actually a fun layout using the Flower Market collection, which is one of the spring collections, and it's really colorful, like a lot of color. And I'm just reading the names. Hello, everyone. So if I, I'm reading your names. If I miss anybody, it's because I'm about to flip the camera. And one of the things I have to tell you is I'm a little bit on the blind side, and not because, I wear glasses. I need a bigger prescription. So I'm waiting for my glasses to arrive. I already ordered them, and there's some issues with my eyes. So I'm going to flip the camera, and I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to use and what my layout is based on, because I had a lot of questions outside of when we had the Instagram hop for the releases. I had a lot of people ask me how did I create that, and they had a different idea of what I used. So I'm going to flip the camera right now. I'm going to show you the layout. I'm going to show you the collection. Well, you have seen the collection, but I have it already laid out on my table. And then I'm going to show you the layout, and it's going to be something based on that, like loosely based on that. So give me 1 second, because you guys know it takes one click for me. So there you go. I think you guys can see me better now. Yeah, so I have my entire collection here. I have Flower Market here. And this is the layout that is loosely based on. This was with spring vibes. So I got a lot of people. I'm going to start moving some of the embellishments to the side. I had quite a few questions outside of the IHOP and how do I create the heart. So we're going to work on that. So this you're going to see it's lots of layers of paper, but it's not lots of layers. It's one pattern paper. So I went in through the, Flower Market collection, and I found one that name is Palette. I have taught a class for Pink Fresh Studio, so I had some leftovers, and it has the same idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut these strips, but I'm not going to fussy cut them one by one. I fussy cut them in groups, and that's the same thing I did for this. So I'm going to set up my little, layout on the side. I'm going to move this stuff outside of the way, and I'm going to tell you that we're going to use the new stuff, but for you guys, it's going to be new. For me, it's a little bit of leftovers, and not in a bad way. Like I said, I taught a class, so I have some pieces that I'm going to use today too. So the way that I cut the paper, because like I said, a lot of people ask about this, and I was like, it's just pattern paper, but I understand why the confusion. So like I said, this paper is Palette. This is from the Flower Market collection, and you're going to see that I've already done quite a bit of it. I had 2 pieces left over from the class that I taught. So I had this. One of the things that I'm sure we have talked about this before and I did is that I save leftover pieces. So whenever I had like paper for another project or anything, like I will save pieces that are workable. So I won't save like little pieces like that, but like strips like this, I save because you don't know what's gonna come in handy. And I'm actually gonna use them today. And I had the leftovers from the cuts from today to here. Well, some of these are like garbage, but I just had them on the side. I keep the ones that I know they're workable. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna cut this. So literally is you're gonna take a grouping of the pattern paper, of the stripes. It's not scientifical. There's nothing like, you just want to get a nice combination of colors. And you're going to see that I've just cut them here. So we're going to go about it. Let's see. I'm going to cut this group in here. And we're going to need quite a bit because what is going to be the fun part of this layout, and I'm going to say the fun part, is layering these pieces. And we're not going to form a shape. We're going to keep it simple today. We're going to use quite a bit of pattern paper for this. We're going to mix a lot of the collection so you guys have like, a look at the collection and what you can do with it. And there's a lot, it's very colorful. There's a lot of what I told Heather one linear design you're going to see. And then there's like a lot of flowers. So there's a nice combination. So all I'm doing is just cutting along the lines here to create my grouping. And I'm not going to throw the scissors because I might trim them a little bit more. So, but you see how I'm creating the groupings? Okay. And remember, I just see Heather popped up and said, like, if you comment throughout the live, at the end of the live, she'll be picking a winner for a $15 gift certificate to the shop. So you can purchase anything, especially the newest collection. So one of the things that I did do is, like, whenever I'm cutting these, little lines, is I try to keep them with a straight line on top. Like, so they all meet at the top. They have a line in common, but I do want to have this like kind of staggered look at the bottom because that's what's going to create the layers. This is what's going to fake it. I'm saying the right word. This is what's going to fake the layer look that, we like. That's what I said. Don't throw it. Once we cut it, don't throw your scissors away because you might need the extras. And I'm just like, I see some of the stuff here. See, I'm going to cut some of this blue. There's a lot of pink in the lines that I'm cutting. So I'm trying to try to cut the blues and the yellows. And I had like somebody asked me, I just saw a pattern paper. I said, well, yes, it is a pattern paper, but I saw stripes and I saw the possibilities. So I'm going to show you how I saw the possibilities and how I played, how it started. And then I give you a hint of how I created the heart. And it was once I had the stripes, or the strips, whatever way you want to call them, then it was easy to actually create the heart. It did take some time. And I was thinking about it. Maybe I should create the heart. And I was like, no, it takes some time. But once you see the stripes together, then you understand how I create the second part. So I'm just going to cut a few more. I'm just looking at what I have here. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to show you because there's quite a bit of white space on both sides. So just trim here. Trim it. So I want to get rid, I'm going to cut it into two. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut it right here at the edge. Okay, don't throw that away. It just flew away. I'm going to get rid of the white part. I don't want any white on this. Getting rid of the white part. I have two pieces. They don't have to be in groups of three. If you want to cut them one by one, go ahead. It will take you a lot longer to then, like, piece this together. I suggest you cut them in groups. Trust me, I created a heart with it and I was glad that I cut everything in groups. I was tempted to cut stripe by stripe, but once I sometimes I get ideas and I'm going, what's the easiest way around it? It's easier to deal with a grouping than to deal stripe by stripe, especially to keep it all straight. So I think I have quite a bit here. I have more here and I have leftover pieces here. So let me just get a container to put it aside for a little. Because otherwise, my table is magical and things happen to just, magically move to the side. So I'm going to put this here for a little bit and we're going to set up the layout so you see what it looks like. So, like I said, I taught a class, last week for, Think Studio. And one of the papers that we used, this paper here is called Bouquet. And I have another one. So let me just, well, so obviously it had a center here. I happen to take the center out. So I'm going to use this to frame my layout. Okay. And so I'm going to trim the branding code after. And you're going to see that I have pieces of paper here, plus, a mix of the other one. I have a piece of white cardstock here. So you see where I'm going. So I have my piece of white cardstock here. I'm going to mix pattern paper with this. Okay. So I play with some ideas ahead of time, because you guys know that I like prepping. So I had, again, another piece of leftover from another project there. But I pull another piece and I stash it somewhere in my container here. So give me 1 second. Here, this is the other paper. So I'm going with something a little bit in the plain side because I want all the colors to pop. For that, you're going to have to go with something that is not going to compete with the color. So I'm going to show you the original layout. See, I went with something really solid, so this will pop. So we're going to work on the same idea. Okay. I'm seeing the good mornings. Hello, everybody. In case I'm missing you, not that I'm ignoring you. It's just, I see your comments. I just can't read them all the time. Like, I cannot read all of them. But hello, everyone. So you see already, I have my frame and it's like blue. I have a piece of cardstock. This happens to be actually really heavy cardstock. We're going to add a little bit of ink. And then I am debating whether to put the flowers or the polka dots. And the polka dots are kind of winning. The only reason why I'm not enjoying the polka dots so much is because then I'm going to get rid of this cut apart, which I love. So, but you see where I'm going, and it's probably going to cut it that way. And just to see what it looks like, I like that. Or we can go this way too. Either way. Okay, so let's get started with this. Let's build this layout. And once we have it built, then we can play with the paper. So first thing we need to do, or first thing I need to do, should I say, is trim this. Remember, like I said, this was left over from a project that I created. Oh, see, I'm trying to see. And then I am going to trim this paper. Its name is Bouquet, and it's like this bright yellow with a lot of florals. And it did hurt to actually cut out the florals, but I actually love this. I love geometrical patterns. And you guys know that. If you guys have been to like a lives before here, then you guys will know that I love geometrical patterns and mixing them, in fun ways. So all I'm going to do is cut the branding code. I happen to cut the inside of this for the class. So I was very, I'm always trying to think about my cuts when I create anything, in a way that I don't waste paper. And it just happened that what I created needed something to be symmetrical. And this paper actually has like a tile design in the middle. So I was able to use that for the page. So like I said, I am going to literally put this inside. And I have, if I'm not mistaken, this center, just to make sure, I cut a 10 by 10 out of the center. So I'm going to cut my paper to 11 by 11. I just want the little corners here. So I'm going to cut 11 inches out of this. That means I got to cut an inch of paper. And this happens again to be Vicky Boutin foundation paper. I just had it handy. So I had a strip, and I'll tell you how white it is. It doesn't really matter, but I know that you guys are going to ask me how white it is. So give me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly how white it is. So this one is 6 inches, 6 inches by 11. So that's going to sit right there. Or at the bottom, I don't know yet. And like I said, this was my other choice. I was thinking either this one, it has all the florals, but I'm going to cover it. So I don't want to waste, because this is beautiful paper. Instead, I am thinking that I am going to go with this polka dot one. Again, be smart how you cut it. So, look at the back. See what you're not going to use, even though I love it. I'm going to cut from this side here. So let me get my trimmer. I set it aside so it wouldn't, fall down. My water bottle fell down right now. So this paper here is called Spring, and it has all these cut apart on the A side. The B side here has like this, it's white with like these great polka dots on it. So I'm going to trim. Let's see, I need Let's be smart about it. Now you can have, I'm gonna mark it with my nails, so I know. That's how you have my tweezers. So I'm gonna need around there. So just think about what part of it you're gonna use most. Like I know that the only thing that I might miss is this, but I don't mind cutting this part. I don't mind, getting rid of this side of the paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim it off. I'm gonna tell you that this is going to be, let me find where I put my nail thingy here. And it's gonna be less than 6 inches. So that is actually, I'm gonna say around 5.5 inches that you're gonna cut out of the paper. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this. Like I said before, I'm not taking the branding code because then after when I have to do a project, then I remember what I'm cutting. And take this. I have my little piece here. Let's get rid of the paper, get everything in order here. Yeah. And now this is gonna sit down here. Now again, I need to trim this to 11 inches. That's all I need. So I'm gonna be, again, smart. I want this piece here that says these little moments. So just be smart about it, where you're gonna trim. So sorry, but like, I'm not ignoring you. Like I said, I'm like, I would love to read comments. Unfortunately, I can, like, if I start reading your comments, I'm gonna stop working. And don't forget, I have an hour to show you the idea. So Heather is, doing all the work for me. So then this paper is gonna sit here. That's what's gonna complete your 11 by 11 square inside your paper. So either way, you can go with this above the white cardstock, below the cardstock. That's completely up to you. I'm gonna save this because I want this little part. I'm gonna put it over here. And for now, I have the pictures here. That's my cousin, and that's my cousin's daughter, not her daughter. I am blessed with having a lot of cousins. And this little girl here, she is the daughter of my first, like, I'm the eldest eldest cousin, in my family. Between my sister and I are Irish twins. We're 11 months apart. My cousin, the eldest cousin that we have, direct cousin, he's almost 9 years younger than us. So there was a huge gap between my uncles, giving us babies to play with. Literally, we had no dolls, we had babies to play with. Okay, so this little girl here, she grew up as my little sister, and she's the one that, when she had kids, godmother to both her daughters. And this little girl, she happens to be my cousin's daughter, and she's named after me. Isn't that cool? So meet some of my extended family. This is the Tarco family, and they live in Ecuador. So I love this picture because, unfortunately, we all wear glasses in this family. So they went to try on glasses, together. So we're going to use these pictures, and we are going to, let's see if they fit in the frame. We're going to frame at least one of them. I just want to make them pop. Okay, so let's see. And I want to take advantage of the blue here. So I'm going to go with something blue. Okay, so I like this. So let's see which one looks better. This one, because the face is a little bit smaller. So remember, center it. There we go. We're going to trim the excess. Let's cut into it. Remember, this I have an adhesive backing. So you gotta be careful once you put it on top of your picture, that's where it will sit. So just be careful with it. If you want to, make sure that, you know where it goes. Cut the backing of it, the plastic that comes behind it. That way, you don't destroy your picture, because once the stickiness of the chipboard falls on your picture, it will be stuck for life. It's really hard to pull this out. Some of the things have solutions. This one, from the chipboard, a little bit, especially on the material of the picture. So just be careful. Let me see. I'm just reading all this. I'm trying to read the comments. So there we have one picture. I'm pulling some of the blue from the frame. And I think I want to frame this one too. So let's see what else we have. Again, I want to pull some of the colors from outside. I'm going to go with something. See, I was thinking about these ones, but I think that it reminds me of the bottom. Let's see if this one works. Just because it has some of those blue tones. That one works, but I want something with pink. Let's see this one. Too little. So we're gonna go with this one here. No. Let's see with the green. I think it's gonna make it, no, not the green. See, I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to you guys at the same time. So I'm gonna go with this one. So again, see where you wanna place it. Once it goes down, it's like permanent. So there we go. Back my pictures. I read somebody says, I love the pink for studio papers. Me too. I hoard them, like literally, But then again, like I use a lot of it too. So it's not that I hoard them because, I don't, but there are some collections from Pink Flame Studio that literally I have the entire collection twice, because I love them that much. But here you go. So we have them. Okay, so you can, already they're gonna overlap a bit here. And we're gonna sit them there. They don't have to be completely straight, but you see how you're going? You have the pop of color, you're bringing some of the frame onto your layout. Okay, so you have that. You guys know there's gonna be florals behind it. We're gonna take advantage of the florals of the collection for that. But now let's play with the paper strip. Okay, let's clean again. I'm trying to keep clean because you guys know it's not the easiest thing. So, like I said, move this to the side. Let's include this together so we treat it as one. So here's where you make your own choice. You can even go, I'm going to tell you right now. You can go gray on top or at the bottom. Regardless, that's going to be your starting line for, if you go white at the bottom, or it doesn't really matter. I kind of like the gray on the top. So I'm going to make sure that it's 11 by 11. So I'm going to use the grid here on my page. So 6 to 18, so I need 11, 6 to 17. That's how much it has to go. So let's get some tape. Set this in place. Sorry, I'm reaching underneath the camera. So 17. 6 to 17. So I'm just going to make sure that this is all centered. Not centered, but they're all the same line. I have to do it this way. Sorry, guys. Sorry, babe. I need to see it. Yeah. The only thing about frames is that you have to make sure that it's, square. So just working on that right now. And I'm overlapping the gray paper, but it's completely up to you. You can even make it like, an even number because you're going to hide the seam or part of the seam. I'm not going to hide the seam, actually. I don't know yet. With the strips of paper. So it's not completely. There we go. So it's going to, make sure that this is 11 by 11. Perfect. I need to trim some of this here. So there we go. You have the words. That's my friend from New Zealand. Oh, I know. I hoard a lot of. I do. Like, don't ask. Like, seriously, we had this. I want to say like a little fight with my son this week. Oh, don't forget, I have adults. Living here. Blessed that they stay at home. Well, they don't want to leave the house, I should say. So let's go over here. Let's, while I chat. So I'm going to frame it. I'm going to go ahead and glue it in place. So we have this conversation. He was saying something that, okay, I love shoes. Another thing that you guys don't know about me, I love shoes. Like, love shoes. Have a lot of them. Now, I know that a lot of people that have a lot of shoes wear them a lot. I stay at home. I work from home. So I don't wear them a lot. So they live inside my closet. So my son works at an office. He, or hybrid. So some days he's here, some days he's at an office. Again, one of the things that my kids have inherited, the love for shoes. My love for shoes. So, okay, needless to say, he bought a pair of shoes. He's been buying, he has his own money. So we don't say don't buy. He buys what he likes, yes? So this week we seen this humongous box arrived, and I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, no offense to anybody. I'm like, what did you buy? So he bought those systems, when you can display your shoes. Not my cup of tea. Okay. But, so I said, why would you buy that? Like, you're hoarding shoes. He goes, well, you shouldn't talk, Ma. You're hoarding a lot of paper. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's stop the conversation there. So that's how far our conversation went. So you see, I have my pictures. There we go. So now we're going to go into, okay, I see some, some addresses being, shared. So now we're going to start the layering. Now here's where you get your choice. Let me bring the original so you guys see. Because I have a heart, you don't see that they all started at the same line. But if you look, I don't want to break it. They all started at the same line, and then, I drew the heart and cut it apart. So we're going to work the same way here. And I'm looking at the time, we're doing great. So for now, we're just going to layer them down. Okay. Now the key here is choose your papers and choose the different sizes. So you're going to see. Don't go the same size. Don't go the same color next to each other. You have to make sure that you create a little bit of separation. Okay. So don't glue anything either. First, set up your images and everything. And you're going to see that I'm overlapping pieces. So that's why I'm not gluing anything. So I put my first piece here. I'm starting at the corner. The next one, I'm going to tuck underneath. Okay. And like I said, you can go this way, or you can go flip it. It's completely up to you. You can go like that too, like kind of coming underneath the paper. Completely up to you. I'm gonna show you how this one works. Okay, and you tell me which one you like better. I'm okay either way. I like it either way better, but I'm telling you. But you see how that's working? So we're gonna flip about. Don't engage. Oh, and hoarding. Okay, so yeah, hoarding is one of the best things ever. Okay, so there we go. So we're gonna start right at the corner. That's what we cut in, like in a straight line. The next piece, you want to show that little piece. That's what the overlapping and the beauty of the layering effect, even though you're not gonna layer tons of paper, it's gonna happen. So you're gonna tack underneath, yeah, and then you already have this happening. Okay, next one, same thing, different color, different sizes. So that's why we have lots of different sizes of paper. Okay, here, and even this one. Remember how I cut some of the white? I might want to stick it underneath there and then I don't like that one there. See, I'm even making, but I like this. Maybe something with more blue. I might layer on top of the orange a bit there. So I might move it a bit higher, and that's okay if you move it higher. Okay, I just want to create that layering effect. So I have this one. I do want this right there. I might have to trim this a bit. That's okay. For now, you're just playing with paper. So don't, give yourself some, some grace for now. And we are going to add 2 layers of paper. So for now, we're just adding some stuff. And we're going to go and trim some of this. Make it work for us. This is going to go on top like that. Okay, let's bring some more of that blue pieces. Okay, so you see how that's working? I like this yellow. We're going to take it underneath. Okay, let's get some of this. So you're going to see that I'm putting a lot of solid here. There's a rhyme for that. So don't, I have those leftovers with pattern. We're going to use them. But for now, we just want this one that has a lot of solid on top. Okay, so let's put this one underneath. There we go. We need another. So we're going to layer on top. Maybe a little bit higher so it goes like that. And then the last piece, I like this here. Something smaller. Let's see. I have this little orange one here. Okay. So you see what it looks like? So now we have it. Get some glue. There we go. Most used words of the hour. Paper and hoarder. That might describe me and half of my friends that are watching right now. So welcome, friends. You are in a good place. We all suffer from the same ailment. So there we go. We can all be friends now. We can hold hands and sing Kumbaya. So there we go. I'm just going to start gluing it. And for this, I'm going to suggest you use some liquid glue because you just want to add it to right at the edge of the paper. Okay, so you're going to see that I'm slowly moving stuff. Stick in there. And I'm sure it might, my conversation sounds even better because, of course, I have an accent. So my husband just, when he just went to pick up my daughter, he just smirked at me and walked away because he knows that the word hoarding, you guys are gonna laugh, okay? But I have no. Somebody asked me this week. He goes, "Do you have shame?" I go, "I don't have shame." Okay, I might be uncomfortable with my accent, but I don't have shame. And I think we had this conversation here too before. There were too many people the day I gave birth to my children for me to have think about anything else about that. So there we go. But because I said to my husband, "Oh my God," he was cleaning the room and he's like, "Natalie, we have to do something about the paper, because there's some boxes in my room of stuff that are not to be touched in his closet." And I said, "What do you want me to do?" And he goes, "Well, maybe we can put," I said, "Well, you're not putting them outside because we have a storage unit." I said, "You're not putting it outside and really you're not using your closet." So, so my husband has a closet that is probably full with some boxes of paper. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's as far as I'm going to go with the confirmation. Okay, that I have, an issue with the stuff. But there we go. So I'm just gluing this away. And this is the fun part. So just play with the layers of paper. We're going to trim the excess, so don't worry about it. That's what I said. Some liquid glue is going to be your friend here, or anything that's going to give you just like a fine line of adhesive. Doesn't have to be liquid glue. If you have really thin red line tape, that's okay. You just want to create just want to attach it at the top because you want to play with some layers. So you see here, I need to layer this a bit more. So I need to add something behind it. So let's cover this lid. And let's trim out the excess first before we move into, let me get it. And my thinner scissors have disappeared right now. So let's go with this. I'm going to trim the excess. So I'll suggest you do this before you glue everything in place. I'm doing it backwards because the magic of television. So I'm just going to trim some. Oh, yeah, I'm going to make my X-Acto knife. Sorry that I'm reaching, in front of the camera. I work better with X-Acto knife. So just trimming the excess of the line and being careful not to go all the way through, but just the paper. So here we go. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah. So now you can cut some of the bottom. I might cut some of them, but I want to add more of the layering effect. Okay. So get your pieces left over. And here's where you can get the pieces of leftover that have pattern, because you want to also bring some interest to the background. Even though we already have some going on, I'm going to bring some of this. You're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to tuck it underneath. Okay. So let's be smart and cut a piece of this. And this is exactly how I work my design for the heart. Pretty much I drew the heart. I'll tell you exactly how I build my heart. So I'm going to move this to the side. So it's kind of layer in between the two pieces. Okay, I want some of this yellow. So I drew my heart out of white. I used 65-pound cardstock for it. I cut my heart. Once I had it cut, then I cut up my paper and I use literally, I repeat what I'm doing right here. That's what I did with the heart. Starting from the top all the way to the bottom. Once I was happy with what it looked like, then I was then as I added some, I trim a bit so I wouldn't lose the shape of the heart. So it took a little bit longer than, this, but this is pretty much the idea of the layering. I follow this idea to layers. So you see how I'm tucking it underneath so that it looks like there's more paper under? There's not lots. So don't, stress over it. So it's going to, and I'm bringing the pattern at the bottom because it's kind of hidden. You don't want to add that much pattern at the top unless your background is white. My background is not white. My background has a little bit of pattern. It reads as a solid, so just be mindful of those things. Little things that are going to give you a cohesive and successful look. There's a lot of pink here, so I want to break some of that. And add some green there. You're going to see that I'm tucking underneath, okay? So I'm going to stretch this design here. Again, you want to make sure that it looks like it's like the piece is coming from the top, but it's not. So we just pull in the eye a little bit. There's more blue here. Got it. And we're going to trim some of these a little bit too long. So we're going to trim some of that out. Remember that you have to have like kind of an even distribution of these two. So be mindful of that. Like this. So we're going to layer underneath. Cut there. Some of this yellow. And if I'm not going quiet. Okay, so again, like you said, if you have like leftover paper, this is a great place to use. And this one is giving me a hard time. So let's secure it with this. If you have leftover pieces, this is one of the layouts that you want to create to use all those little leftovers. See how I'm doing? I'm just tucking it underneath until you're happy with what it looks like. I think they need a few more layers, so let's go about it. And you know what? Another thing that I did, now that I remember, is some of this, like for example, this pink, I went ahead and trim it a bit high. Okay. Trimmed it a bit so that I'm able to move this around a bit, create that movement. So then I can have this yellow piece here. I can add it over here like this. So when you create a little bit of a lift here, because we're gonna do that too. Kind of curve the paper a little bit. You can see the paper underneath. So it's just a matter of playing with your layers. All I did was that, play with my layers. I have some of this. I don't know what it looks like. I still have more of this paper too. So let's layer more underneath here. Let's see. I like that there. So like I said, try to add your tape or your adhesive just at the top of the stripe or the strip so that you're able to move it. Play with the layering. You want to create a layer look and then slightly curve your edges. Okay, so with this one here, it needs to be cut. Okay, lightly to help you with the curvature. So I'm going to show you a little bit what it's going to look like. I don't know if you can see it. Not a lot of bulk, because I know some of you see a lot of that. It's not a lot of bulk. It's just a matter of playing with the paper. Be smart. You see, you don't want things that are too long. So I'm going to start trimming this. They're too long. Unless you like them, then sure, go ahead of, But I see some of the things that I need to cut here, like this one. And trim right there. Okay, so I have a little piece here. There's a lot of, I see yellow. I'm going to cut this in half. Right there. I think I'm going to tuck it underneath here. See? Let's see, maybe a little bit higher. There we go. So blue. And you're going to see me. I'm just going to play with this until I like what it looks like. Yeah, so now when it curves, you see something underneath. I'm going to trim this right here. You don't need to trim it all the way, just a bit to help you with the curving of this. You need something here. So I might go with something blue. So I'm going to cut some of this up. Let me see which way. This way. Okay. I'm going to trim this. Make it a little bit shorter. Here we go. And again, so let's lift this orange one too. Don't work from the bottom up. That's another thing. Don't work like I'm gonna do the first one. No, you have to put your first layer and then fill up the spots at the bottom. That's, for some reason, I tried the other way. Didn't work out that great because it just, it became very busy. So I found that if you work your first layer, it's easier to tuck things underneath because you like your first layer, you know what it looks like. You're just filling up the spots on the back. That's literally what I'm doing. Okay, you can say curve your lines a bit to give it that movement. Here it needs to be cut a bit. Okay, I'm liking what it looks like. Let me see. Let me see. I'm just reading some of the comments, trying to at least. Okay, so let's see. I want another piece of maybe pink there because there's a lot of. So here's where I'm going to go into cutting this smaller. And you see, I didn't cut a lot of paper because, like I said, I had leftovers. So, you don't need a lot of pattern paper. You just need to, smartly use it. I think I need to add it right here, kind of layer. So we're gonna lift it up a bit there. Let's move this one out of the way. Some tape, and I'm pretty much done. So adding some spaces here. Where's the little piece that I just moved? Here it is. Is it this one? Yeah. You see how I'm hiding the pattern underneath? Still gonna show, but it's not gonna be as prominent. So I'm gonna trim this. Let's help with the curving. A little bit here with the curling. And show the layers underneath. Same thing with this one here. So I'm gonna choose a line. And I don't mind that if some of it stays underneath. I think I'm pretty much done. So give me 1 second. Let's just do a quick cleanup because the table is looking a little bit messy. You're gonna do the smart thing. Take everything onto the floor or onto the side. So there we go. I'm looking at the time. We're doing great. So there we go. There's the basis of your layout. It's here. And it's pretty much the same idea that I use for my heart. I just, like I said, as I was gluing stuff, I was making sure that I trimmed the edges so I kept the shape of the heart. That's the only difference. Okay. There you go. So now your pictures are going to sit right here. We need to bring some color to the background. Okay. That's where the inks are going to come in handy. There you go. You can make them bigger, but I like them like that. Okay. Trying to see. Okay, so let's see. I want to use some of this Ocean Breeze. I want to bring some of the edges. So let's start with that. I have Ocean Breeze, and I'm also going to bring some Aquamarine. You don't need much. You just want to create a little bit of a halo of color behind. Okay, so I have my brushes here. Remember, my pictures are going to sit right here. So let's add the ink right there. And you just want to add some color behind it, okay? Think of a pop of color to make the picture stand out a bit. Trying to read your comment. Okay, so a little bit of this color. I think I want to bring a tiny little bit of yellow because it's a nice complement to this color. So let's see. I want the teal to sit here, perfect. And the green to sit maybe a little bit higher. There we go. We have the space at the top there. Okay, so let's get some. I'm putting them aside for now. Let me get my brush for now on this here. Some yellow. I'm gonna go with Sunshine for this. Okay, that green tone when they meet in the middle. So like I said, just a soft halo behind it, just for your, your stuff to pop a little bit more. Okay, and then I had a piece of acetate. There we go. So some ink splatters. You have my brush and you're gonna see it. It's like all curved because I used it a lot. I'm just gonna move them down a bit. There we go. Let's see here. I have a little piece to clean up here. Let's go with some aquamarine. Yeah. Aquamarine. You can do this easily. Okay. Get that aside too. And I'm gonna take a piece of, I have tissue just to soak up the excess. So you're not gonna rub, you're gonna let it on top and just press. That's gonna soak up the excess water and it's ready to go. So you're barely gonna see that's okay. You don't need much. Okay. I do think I need something else behind the photos to make it stand out. So my idea, let me clean up my ink so they're out of the way. Bring in your journaling pieces. I had them here or on the other side. Where did I put them? Okay. You just need to make this a little bit bigger. Remember, I cut my picture, so we're gonna make this a little bit bigger. I'm bring some of that pink, and actually, I love this edging. So this at the bottom. See, that's already making it a little bit taller than what it was. So here we go. And it's bringing some. I want to take advantage of that edge. That's why. Okay, let's put it straight. There we go. That's where they're gonna sit. I'm gonna move them a little bit more this way. So you see just a hint of the color. There we go. And we're getting there. Now it's all gonna be about embellishing. You can read what did I say? Oh, okay. So now this is gonna be in place. So let's go ahead and secure stuff. So this is gonna be what is gonna anchor my picture. This one is gonna sit flat against the page. So let's go ahead and secure it. And it's gonna stick outside a little bit here. Right at the edge. This one here, because I'm gonna put it right on top, I can even go like that. But I'm gonna cover that with flowers anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna overlap it, so I need a little bit of foam adhesive behind it to help it. So don't hate me for this, because I know that not a lot of you are friends of foam adhesive. I am, so we're gonna use it. I'm doing it quickly so you guys can see it before, Yeah, we're doing final time. You see, and it's actually working out perfect. Yeah, we still have 15 minutes to finish this, so perfect. So we're gonna overlap it a bit. I'm gonna add some more foam adhesive to secure it. One of the things you have to keep in mind is whenever you add mixed media to anything, the surface becomes a little bit slippery, so you might need to help it with some adhesive, which is happening to me right now. Okay, so just little things that you have to keep in mind. Good tip there. It's gonna add one more to secure it completely. No, nobody has. Once we finish all the lives, then you will know the winner. Until I'm not completely done and I'm facing you, you won't know who the winner is. You're talking about the winners for the scrapbook Instagrams. I think the deadline was yesterday, or so probably. I'm not so sure. Heather can help you with that. So now, remember the little paper that we cut and I said I don't wanna mess that up. So we're gonna use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim it. But you don't need that many embellishments because you already have a lot going on. So I want to tuck this underneath here. Okay, let's see, lift it up. See, I can put it right here. I can move it down here. I like it better there. So again, let's add some foam adhesive behind it because you want to give it some lift. You're gonna see that I'm lucky to have different sizes handy. So I left a little bit of a white edge when I cut this word so that it pops from everything behind it. That is just going to help you, like, make it legible, especially with all this pattern going on here. There we go. We need a title. Title's going to sit most likely here. So I'm trying to make sure that everything is organized here. Let's start embellishing this. Okay, so let's just start with adding some floral. And I really love this happy day here. But I think it's a little bit too muted. It needs something with a little bit more heft to like kind of hold it, I kind of like that for the title. And you guys know, one of the things that, oh, I like this smile. One of the things that I struggle with the most is titles. And not because, they're hard for me. It's just, I don't know, this, like, that's one of the things that takes me the longest to, okay, so let's see. Let's go with follow the lines. Here it says best friends. So that's going to sit right there. Yeah. One. That's it. Let's go with the florals. I have the ephemeras here and the flower ephemeras here for this. So I know that I want to elongate this way. So I'm going to put probably the florals here. Let's see what else do we have here. Bring some of the blue from the background. Okay. I like that there. You like the smile? Yeah, but I'm also liking the smile. Don't, but for now I'm trying to. And I'm not loving that big blue flower at the top. I find it too overwhelming for the base, but I like this one here. So this one I'm going to switch to something else. So there's a lot to choose. There's a lot of florals to choose from in this collection. So there's no shortage of them. So don't stress over that. I just want to bring quite a bit of blue just to make this pop. And there's different styles of florals too. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. So, but they're mixable because the collection is done in such a way that you can mix them. So let me see some orange. And I'm just lifting the paper a bit here, just to make sure it fits. Kind of popping from behind the paper. I like that better. I have some foam adhesive already here. Move it down. There's space for something there, and that's just gonna elongate my design that way. It needs leaves. That much I know there. I'm gonna find something that has kind of like something that creates a little bit of movement to the top. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trim the leaves from here. Because in case you guys it's the first time that you're joining my lives, I always think that you have to make the ephemera or the die cuts work for you. So that's what I'm doing. Trim your ephemera to work for you. Don't get stressed because it doesn't fit what, the ephemera doesn't fit your project. Trim it, make it work for you. Okay, so now there's space for something here. There we go. Let's see. Now, again, some there. Let's add maybe some. See, and that's the reasons why I pull out the glasses. Let's pull some of these glasses. That's going to be right there. It's one of the reasons I pulled these pictures, because I saw the glasses. So this is from the puffy stickers. Okay. See how it's like all looking. You don't need that much more underneath because you have it like, there. So now let's add a few more florals here because we need them. And then we're going to add a few florals down here. And then I don't know, my title is going to be here, or we can put it down here, or my Lancer journal is going to be down here. But we're still working on this, so don't stress. Remember the one that I just cut? I think it actually fits there perfectly. Or I can add it here. Now that I cut that part that, I don't need it, the flower became, no, I don't like that there. I like it here. Kind of coming down from There we go. See, you have to make the ephemera work for you. So don't ever get stressed because you think the ephemera is too big or, it doesn't, that corner doesn't, just trim it. Make it work for you. There we go. See, it slowly is getting there. Yeah, you want the glasses? There's a paper that has all sunglasses. You can go into YouTube and there's a walk. I think Leah did a walk of the entire collection. And if I stand away from the microphone, it's because I'm looking for that paper. It's here on this side. Okay, there we go. Just so you know. And because I'm getting new glasses, you guys know that I'll be using a lot of this. Okay. And not a fun day this week because I went to get my glasses and they're like, she's like, your prescription has gone up. I'm like, no kidding. The last time I had my eyes checked was before before we went into lockdown. I like this little one. I like this Keep Blooming little one. Beautiful one, sorry. And I like it there, just to bring more of that blue. Remember, we're going to make the blue pop because we have the blue frames here. So there we go. So because I have a circle here, it gives me a chance to probably add a circle embellishment up there. We're going to try. If not, we're going to add a cardstock sticker. And we're doing great on time. So I like this one here. Love this. Let's see what it looks like. Perfect. Okay. See how we're working? Okay, so now we're going to add more over here just to bulk that up a bit. And then we're going to work on a title. I like this again. No, I need something that is kind of on the rounding side. I can bring some of that orange. Again, I might have like 1.5 ephemera here. I might not even need anything here. So let me see. Let's just play with another idea. Right? So trying to find something that doesn't have that much movement. And it's a little bit on the smaller side. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just maybe a pop of yellow. It's too big. I need something smaller. And again, there's a lot of ephemera, so you have to go through it all. I'm just going. Want to make sure you guys see it finished before we saying goodbye. So another pop of blue, maybe up here. No. Here. There we go. Right there. That's where we're going to add it. Okay. So you want to put it in the background because you want the heart to pop out. So kind of stash it underneath. Is that something to just, help with that? Some pink. Perfect. Now we're almost finished. Not bad for a Thursday afternoon. Perfect. So now we're going to bulk up a little bit here. So I think we need to bring some more pink. I'm going to use one of the puffy stickers just to complete that. Perfect. So all my interest is right there. Okay. Let's clean up some of this. Let's see. Let's add a title here. I'm just looking at the stuff. I'm going through my ephemera here. I like this. Chase your dreams. No, I need something. I need my big ephemera, my big paper here. So I do like the smile, but you see when you put it here, it literally, it just kind of gets very subdued. You want something that has a little bit more color, that's a little bit more solid for this. So we're going to go with this. And I already know what I'm going to put for my title. So let's look for a K. Oh my God, I can't find the case. New. Title came to my mind as I was looking for the thing. So you see how this line here is going to help you with the title? So we're going to just make it look the line there is just going to be perfect to, so my title is not flying around. So let's go with a W. Because I know that my cousin ended up getting those glasses that day. And the other one that getting these glasses that day. So they actually, it was one of the birthday presents for her. And yes, we've been blessed with really good sight. by my grandparents. There you go. See how that changes it? You need something that's a little bit heavier for this, just so it balances all the stuff at the bottom. So even though unless you back this with like white cardstock, you need something a little bit heavier for this. Okay, so we're almost done. Now I have here the enamel dots, and where did I put them? See, somewhere here, but I have another pad, so give me one. Okay. The enamel dots is, what you're gonna do is you wanna add them in between the layers. Okay. So then it reads as you're lifting up your pieces of pattern paper. So wherever you see that you need a pop of color, that's where you're gonna add them. So here. Okay. Now I'm gonna sprinkle all of them here. So let's see. Some of this pinkish, kind of purplish. There we go. You can color match them if you want to. It's completely up to you. You just want to add them so that it gives you that pop of color. Again, another one right about here. Let's see here. And I'm putting one in between the layers and another one like right on top of it. So maybe in the orange. There we go. Then we're going to add a few more up here. Let's add some green to bring some of that. And a little bit of yellow. Here, we're going to get some of this. No, not blue. This other green. Remember, those are the colors that we want to kind of make them pop. And we're going to add some over here. Let's go with this darker blue. And a little bit of this green. Okay, so there we go. And then the last thing I'm going to add is a little bit of gold to this. Just a little bit of shine. Okay. I'll go where my clusters are at. Any gold ink will do. Very little, not much. And then right at the tips of my edges here, just a little bit. Lines of journal is going to hit right here. And that's about it. You see, I finished my layout. Okay. You don't want to see the notes left behind. But I hope you liked it. Like, this was fun to put together. And now you know how I built my heart. So I'm going to show you that image right now again. This was the inspiration for this. Okay, you see, the same way that I created that stripe of lines of paper, I did that just layering, and tacking underneath. So I started at the top and tack underneath to create my heart. And there we go. So now it's my new layout. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera to see you. And you guys can see the glorious mess that I am right now. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like, that was fun to put together. Like I said, we had a lot of questions. Well, I had a lot of questions about how I had built the heart, how many papers I have cut. And I was like, it's only one paper. So, you know, it's done. And Heather just picked a winner. Oh, that's Glenda. Congratulations, Glenda. Make sure you actually email Heather. No, sorry, Leah. Leah at pinkfreshstudio.com. Give her a few days, you know, to answer back, and make sure you show me what you buy with that, because I would love to see what you purchase with that, Glenda. I know Glenda outside of this is such a sweetheart. So as always, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I do actually come back to read them. And if you want to see something, or like, you know, there's something that, you know, you want us to show us, let us know. And, you know, we'll be happy to, you know, help you with that. As always, thank you so much, Heather, for being like, you know, the one that keeps up the conversation while I don't see the comments. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Don't forget that Kathleen will be here next week with another project. So thank you so much for joining me, and see you soon, guys.